Okay, today I'm going to show you how to cut this vinyl plank. This is the pill and stick vinyl plank. I picked it up at Lowe's, $1 per square foot. Cheapest stuff I could find over there. This is probably the easiest vinyl plank to install. So if you've never done flooring before and you want to do this yourself, you might want to look into this. You don't have to put down any adhesive. You just peel the backing off and stick it down. Anyway, you see here how easy that was to cut that. Just bend it, slice, splits it open, and cut the backing. Cuts just like sheetrock, if you ever cut sheetrock before. You see how it slides underneath the baseboard? Hides all of your cuts. That's exactly what you want. I'll show you on the next cut how to do that, how to hide all your cuts. Okay, on here you just butt your vinyl plank up against your last piece, and you see the baseboard. You want to go a half inch past your baseboard, a quarter inch to a half inch, depending on how thick your baseboard is. And put a mark on your vinyl plank. Then we're just going to measure from the baseboard, the face of the baseboard, to the vinyl plank, then add a quarter inch to a half inch, depending on how much it takes to hide your cuts. You should have an inch of play. If they installed the sheetrock right, you have a half inch of sheetrock plus the half inch or 5/8, whatever your thickness of your baseboard is. So that should give you roughly an inch to play with down there. So you just measure from the face of your baseboard to the edge of your vinyl plank, add a half inch. That should give you plenty to hide your cuts underneath the baseboard. So the way I like to cut this is just use a square, line it up with your marks, and slice it with the razor knife. Don't need to push real hard on this. Just need to slice through the first layer, and then it'll split right open. And just bend it backwards and it'll snap. And then we cut the backing off, and then that's it. Okay, watch how we hide our cuts. Slides a half inch under there, and you can't see anything. Just like the pros. Beautiful. Alright, let's show you just a straight cut. We're going to slide underneath the baseboard over here. And these are directional. They have a pattern to them. So on the back side it has arrows But make sure all your arrows are facing the same direction to keep the pattern going the same way. So when you when I do a straight cut like this, flip your vinyl plank around so the arrows are facing the opposite direction. Slide your vinyl plank under the baseboard. You see how then mark your cut, get your square, score the vinyl plank, then bend it and cut the backing. I want this cut edge to go underneath the baseboard, so we got to turn our arrows back around and face them the right direction so we keep a consistent pattern on the floor. Now on this piece, I got some concrete underneath that baseboard I didn't want to chip out, so I'm just going to cut around it. It'll still hide it. You'll never see it. I'll just show you how easy it is to cut this little slice at a time. If you're scared you don't want to take off too much, just take a little at a time. So you're going to mark 1/2 inch back from the front face of the baseboard, so that'll hide our front cut. Then if this is already a 1/2 inch, if that chunk of concrete wasn't in the way, we could just slide that in and it'll be fine. But yeah, there's a chunk of concrete underneath that baseboard. We're going to have to cut around. Now in a minute we're going to do some more complicated cuts, some U-shaped cuts, and then going around closets and door entries. They're just as simple as these L-shaped cuts. You just got to take your time, measure right. Just keep slicing a little bit off at a time. Looks like I need about another 1/8 of an inch. A little bit more. Not quite there yet. I also have a shim underneath that cabinet right there that I have to cut around. Should be the last piece I have to cut off here. Yeah, that looks good. I have to cut that piece off for the shim. That looks good. And I'm going to put a 1/2 inch quarter round along the base of that so it'll cover up the cut at the base of that cabinet. You just build back up, stick it down, and we move on to the next cut. this is going to be a U-shaped cut going around into a closet. Okay, the first thing we need to do is get a piece laid in here that we can measure off of. So we need to get this in here as square as possible. Make sure our edges are nice and tight up against the other pieces. Okay, now we have something to measure off of, so that'll make it easy for us. Alright, the first thing we need to do is get our length. So we flip our plank over, slide under the baseboard, and mark our cut. Making sure our arrows are facing the right way. Okay, remember we gotta go in a 1/2 inch under the baseboard, 1/2 inch back from the face of the baseboard, and then we need to measure from the plank to the wall, and then add a 1/2 inch to go underneath the wall. Now you need to measure this and flip the tape around and measure from the opposite side. Don't measure it from the wall and then go straight to your vinyl plank, and you'll be cutting the wrong side. You'll be cutting the wrong side of the vinyl plank. You'll end up with a U on the opposite end. Now to cut this out, you just cut your lines down to your marks. Then we'll fold it and cut the backing. It'll come right out. Let's check our work. Looks like it doesn't want to fit. We got something under there. We're gonna have to cut a little bit more out of there. So just get your straight edge and cut out a little bit more. Check it again. Let's see what we got. Looks like it still doesn't want to go under there, so let's take a little piece out of the corner here. Yep. Alright, that looks good. Let's peel the back off and put that down. Then we'll fill in that last piece in the back there. You can see everything's hidden underneath the baseboard and underneath the sheetrock. Okay, same thing with this guy. We need to get our length. Our vinyl plank is flipped around backwards, so we get our pattern right. Mark our cut. Get our length cut, and we can move on to our width. Slides right in. Oh, there's something back in there. Chunk of plaster. Remember, we got to turn our piece around so we cut the right side. Let's get our measurements off the baseboard to our plank. Remember to add a 1/2 inch, and we're going to have to end up cutting it again. Yep, remember to flip the tape around so you cut the right side. I'm just using the level as a straight edge to cut this vinyl plank. Just fold it back, cut the backing off. Let's double check, make sure we got a good fit. Yep, looks good. Now you peel the backing off, it's going to be a little harder to slide that in there without it sticking to the other vinyl plank. So fold it in an arch, slide it in and let it drop in. Just as easy as that. Alright, here's a little bit more complex cut going into a closet. I have a little bit of a dog leg. You can see back there with the trim. So just keep quiet and let you watch it happen. By now you should understand how to cut the vinyl plank and make your marks. Simple, really easy stuff. Just Take your time, measure twice, and cut once. Now if you have to, just draw lines, mark everything, mark it out and put X's on all the spots that you need to cut so you can see exactly what you're doing. Then you just cut right along your marks. Now this is going into a rental unit, so this is not really a permanent installation. This will probably be replaced in 3 or 4 years after it's worn out. If you want more of a permanent installation, you can put down some vinyl adhesive. This is cheap Chinese product, so it's probably going to wear out before 10 years. You'll have to peel it up and replace it. After you get all your cuts, check your work before you peel that backing off. So it's a pain in the butt to cut it after you got stuff sticking in your hands. See how everything's hidden underneath the baseboard? Now on the door jamb, if you've seen the floor prep video I made, you can see how to cut your door jamb and your door trim a 1/4 inch up off the floor, so that it'll hide the cuts underneath the door jamb. Okay, this cut's the most complicated one. So first we need to get down our last piece of vinyl plank so we can measure off of it. And we have to go around the corner of the room into the closet, around a U shape around the door jamb. Now remember, just measure off the baseboard to the edge of your vinyl plank, then add a 1/2 inch, a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch, 3/8 of an inch, whatever you need to hide that cut. The same in the door jamb. You want a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch to hide underneath the door jamb. And like I said, this is the cheapest stuff I can find over at Lowe's. Pill and stick vinyl plank flooring. This is probably the most friendly to the homeowner do-it-yourselfer. Really simple to put down. And that's it. You see how all of your cuts are hidden underneath the baseboard, the door jamb, just like a professional job. Anybody could do it. That's it for this video. Hope it helped you guys out. I'll see you next time. Have a good day.